on the Weather Channel.
Time now to check on the radars across the country. The Weather Channel's thunderstorm outlook first. Good chance for severe weather over the Great Lakes and the upper Mississippi Valley. Strong storms may be scattered over southern Georgia into the Carolinas and along the frontal boundary here, so we'll watch this later this afternoon. But already this morning things are fairly active over the Midwest. You know, this was the same area we were talking about this same time yesterday morning. However, some of the heavier rain was stretched a little farther west over the eastern parts of Nebraska. Nebraska is clearing out this morning, and so is the western parts of Iowa, but East Iowa still getting the inundating rains and the heavy thunderstorms moving through central Wisconsin. Now, these thunderstorms are moving very quickly to the east-northeast at about 40 miles an hour. Possible hail and lightning and certainly locally heavy rain with these storms from La Crosse to Madison, even around Neenah and Green Bay, Wisconsin. And notice a line of thunderstorms moving through Ottumwa, Iowa, Cedar Rapids, and just getting ready to cross over the Mississippi River right here. Hail and lightning and locally heavy rain associated with these two, and they are eastbound at about 35 miles an hour. The heat alert is still on, especially across the south, where it was definitely hot yesterday. We had a few record highs. Hot Atlanta, Georgia, they tied their record at Huntsville International, 100 degrees. 99 in Huntsville, Alabama. Look at the rest of the southeast. Dallas, 101. That was not a record, but still pretty hot, huh? 101 in Little Rock, Arkansas. There you see the 100 degrees in Atlanta. Now around Childress, Texas, which is right along the Red River, we got up to 108 degrees. It's going to be hot again today, so whatever you did yesterday to beat the heat, try to do the exact same thing today with more 90s and 100s. Central Georgia, look at the stretch of 100s. Looks like this area is larger today. The southwest, 110 degrees, but of course it's the dry heat here. But still 110 degrees. You want to exercise caution if you have the prolonged outdoor activities planned today. The danger zone right here in the red. So if you live here, you want to stay inside as much as you can. Good morning, and thanks for joining us on the Weather Channel. 30.5 minutes after the hour. You know, you're just in time for a look at current weather. We'll start with a satellite picture, get a bird's eye view of what's going on. This is a broad perspective of the clouds and how they've developed. We'll even show you the intertropical convergence zone where nothing's going on for the most part. You remember last weekend we were talking about two hurricanes in the Pacific, Eugene and Dora. Of course, neither is a hurricane this morning, but we are seeing the effects of Eugene as it moved across the Hawaiian Islands. We had some heavy rain in Hilo, Hawaii, the Big Island. Over 10 inches of rain fell there. We'll have all the details on the tropical conditions coming up in about 20 minutes, so we hope you'll stay tuned. A little bit closer to home, and you notice fair skies for most of the country, but immediately you see the blow-up of clouds developing here. This is the same area we were talking about yesterday morning, though the clouds were stretching a little farther west. Clouds yesterday were extensive to the eastern parts of Kansas and Nebraska all the way to the central Great Lakes. Most of the heaviest storms, though, have moved east of Nebraska this morning, but they are really firing up over the eastern parts of Iowa, northern Illinois, and even around south central Wisconsin. The rest of the nation, fair skies. We do notice a little upper air disturbance in Montana and Idaho. Temperatures over the northern Rockies yesterday were some 5, 10, 15, and 20 degrees below normal. Temperatures did not get out of the 50s in some areas of Montana and northern Idaho. Let's show you regional radar as we zoom in on this area. You notice the stronger storms. The legend reveals the brighter the color, the heavier and intense the storms are. Even the darker greens indicating the heavy torrential rains. So we do have the thunderstorms over east Iowa, the central and southern parts of Wisconsin, and still some moderate rain pulling back across North Dakota and the north central parts of Minnesota. Let's get a little bit closer here with the stronger storms in Iowa and Wisconsin. Wisconsin. Now, this is Waterloo, Iowa, ALO. We had some heavier rain just a couple of hours ago, but most of the stronger storms have pushed off to your east, moving through Ottumwa, Iowa, and Burlington here. This is right along the Mississippi River, and you know we've had big problems with flooding rains here over the last couple of weeks. Madison, Wisconsin, we have some heavy rain and possible lightning and thunderstorms and gusty winds with these as they move off to the east-northeast at about 40 miles an hour. So they're moving very quickly as this complex front comes together in the area of low pressure. We'll watch the low continuing to pull off to the northeast over the central and southern provinces of Canada, but this is a general area that we will focus our attention today for the best chance of strong to severe storms. So keep an eye to the threatening sky if you live in this region, or either you can keep it here to the Weather Channel. We'll be here all day showing you thunderstorms and radars out of this area. Over the northeast, a great day yesterday in Boston and New York City and Philadelphia, Atlantic City. It's going to be another nice one today. So if you're in New York and you did not have time to get out yesterday, today it's going to be a carbon copy. Hope you have time today because it's going to be absolutely gorgeous with afternoon highs in the 80s, low humidity levels, and quite a bit of sunshine. Talk about sunshine. That's what we had yesterday over the southeast, and the record heat was representative of that too. Atlanta, Georgia tied their record at 100 degrees. At Hartsville International, 99 in Huntsville, Alabama. So hot indeed to the south out ahead of this frontal boundary. Look at the highs, 100, there's the record in Atlanta, 101 in Dallas. Now that was not a record, but hot indeed, wouldn't you say? 101 in Little Rock, Arkansas. It was 108 degrees. That was a hot spot of the nation. Childress, Texas, right here along the Red River. So what do you do on activities or days like this? You definitely want to slow it down, reduce your level of activity, wear lightweight and light colored clothing, drink plenty of liquids, non-alcoholic preferably. If you want to, you can go to the beach. If you don't live in an area that is located along the beachfront, you can go to one of the area lakes. That's what we did yesterday, the annual Weather Channel picnic yesterday at Lake Allatoona, about 20 miles northwest of downtown Atlanta. So we did get out and have a little fun. But of course, if you do go out, you don't want to overdo it. We're still in the danger zone with more heat and humidity building across the south. Let's check out the forecast now. Here's that front. To the south of it, still hot and nice over the northeast. More rains over the Great Lakes as this area of low pressure pulls off to the northeast. Then we'll watch another area of low pressure developing on the tail end of this front. Locally heavy amounts of rain here with afternoon highs today like this. And as we take you through the nighttime hours, only cooling down to 70s here, but really cool over the northern Rockies. Big changes in the overall temperature pattern as we work our way into the middle of the week. Look at the 90s, New York City all the way to Maine on Wednesday, out ahead of the next system that will build over the plain states. Cooler temperatures here. Then it even gets hotter out west with 90s surging all the way to the front range of the Rockies. Here's that area of low pressure developing on the front now, scattering showers across the northern tier of the country into the northeast Wednesday, but Thursday just pockets of isolated showers. Good morning. It's about 15 minutes before the hour. Thanks so much for joining us this early Sunday morning on the Weather Channel. Don't go away. Still to come, we have the latest on the tropics. Right now, though, it's time for Seasonal Solutions.